all 3 races this weekend.
I know obviously you're looking at this weekend, right? A triple header for USF Juniors, potential to win the championship, but you're also thinking long term, I believe. Inter-MS, fantastic operation. You guys have had a great season. Are we thinking USF 2000 next year, or is that even in the mindset yet?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's in the plans. The number one thing is right now I'm focused on this weekend, focusing in the moment, trying to finish the year as best as I can. Like you said, I mean, if everything goes our way, we could potentially fight for the championship. That for sure would be my dream, and my goal starting this year was to win that championship. As you know, Inter-MS has helped me get this right to race this year. So aside from winning, I also have it pretty clear in my head that I need to bring the car back in one piece for sure this weekend.
Augie, last question. What do you got to do to win?
Keep it on the racetrack. That's it.
Keep it on the racetrack. To finish first, you must finish. We're going to wrap things up here on this weekend here for this 2024 season, but lots of racing still to come, as I said. The first of 3 races for USF Juniors about set to go. When we get back from this break, I'll give you the full driver lineup.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to...
USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire here throughout a Friday and a Saturday. It is championship weekend for the drivers here in all 3 of the categories, but for USF Juniors, we have ourselves an interesting situation. For those of you who tuned in for qualifying this morning here on the YouTube channel or the mobile app, USF Juniors in a wet session, very wet session after rain throughout the morning, but that rain kind of had stopped when that session started, and over the last 3 sessions with juniors qualifying and practice for both USF 2000, USF Pro 2000, which of course was not broadcast, this track has dried out significantly. I believe we're in a situation right now that it is been declared a wet race. So that's one of the interesting things now. That means these drivers will have to roll off with the Continental rain tires. You have to do at least 1 lap on the rain tires before you come in to go to dries. What's that going to mean? Because this racetrack, I'm telling you, there are a lot of dry components to this track right now. It's very interesting how this could play out. The AMR IndyCar safety crew rolling out and around the track right now. So being told the car is now being sent from the pit lane, the false grid in the far part of the racetrack, right by turn 11 and 12, as we are paddocked here this weekend at Portland International Raceway. A very tight schedule as well. We have jammed a lot of racing in here. We don't have a lot of time between the sessions. Normally, we may be ready to go racing right now already, but having the cars leave pit lane and then get the other cars to roll out here, we are actually... again, looking at the way time's kind of going to play out here. Those cars just starting to roll out here right now. We are set to go for an 11:15 green flag, so still lots of time here. But based on at least the schedule, we're only 4 minutes away from firing up the engines. Let's have a look at the grid as these cars do work out here right now. 21 drivers set to go here in the USF Juniors category. Let's have a look at the grid. Starting from the tail of the field in the row number 11, number 21 on the grid, J.T. Hoskins, and only his 3rd start here in USF Juniors for Jay Howard Driver Development. That number 6 machine for Hoskins out of Sarasota, Florida, starting 21st. Row number 10 will have Griffin Yellen on the outside, the Skip Barber Formula Race Series regular in the number 7 machine. Yellen from New York, New York. He'll start his 2nd event, ran at Road America as well. Griffin Yellen in the number 7, starting in the 20th spot, alongside Hudson Potter out of Virginia for Inter-MS in the number 26. Joined that team at Road America the last race we had in the USF Junior schedule, and is picking up some speed here as well. Potter going to start in 19th. Row number 9 will have Michael Succo out of Birmingham, Alabama for VRD Racing in the number 10 on the outside. Inside, Timmy Carell, the Californian for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 8, set to roll off 17th. Row number 8, João Vergara for Exclusive Autosport, the Brazilian now living in Miami, Florida. In the number 90, going to start in the 16th spot. Alongside him, his teammate Evan Cooley out of Illinois in the number 91. Exclusive Autosport, 15th and 16th on row number 8. Moving up to row number 7, Diego Guillo, the Texan for Zanello Racing on the outside, starting 14th in the number 12. And on the inside, there he is, he's right there. That's the number 12 of Guillo. Alongside him, the number 20 for D-Force Driver Development. That is Rodrigo Gonzalez, the Mexican in the number 20 machine. We'll go up to row number 6. Definitely a driver to watch out for here right now. Augusto Soto Chiripa, a winner on the season at VIR. He's 6th place in points coming in. Soto Chiripa in the number 24 for Inter MS, starting in the 12th position alongside G3 Argyros, the Californian for Jay Howard Driver Development in the number 63. 7th place in points for G3. We'll go now up into the top 10. Row number 5 on the outside, Patricio Gonzalez, the other half of the Gonzalez sibling duo for D-Force Driver Development. Best start of the year for Gonzalez. Patricio in the number 19. He'll start in the 10th spot. Pato having a good run here. Alongside him, the driver finished 3rd place in the points last year, rolling in here P5 with an outside shot at winning the championship. That is Jack Jeffers, the Texan for Exclusive Autosport in the number 92. He'll start in the 9th position. Row number 4 now. Out of California, Northern California to be exact, Sonoma. It's Christian Cameron in the number 70 for VRD Racing, starting in the 8th position. Alongside him, Ariel Elkin from Israel for Inter MS. 2 times a winner this year, actually 3 times, 2 races at Barber Motorsports Park and a victory at Road America as well. 2nd place in points coming in, 40 behind Max Taylor. Ariel Elkin needs a win here today in race number 1. Going now to row number 3 on the outside, Leonardo Scorpioni. From Zanello Racing in the 55, starting in the 6th spot there, just 14 years of age, and has really turned things on over the second half of the season. He joined Augusto Soto Chiripa and myself for the pre-show here earlier on in the broadcast. He'll start alongside Joshua Leonel, 2 times a runner-up in the Skip Barber Formula Race Series. The Texan has been impressive over the second half of the season. P5 starting spot for Leonel in the D-Force Racing number 15. Row number 2 will have Brady Golan on the outside, running both USF Juniors and USF 2000 here this weekend, as he has done throughout the season. The D-Force Racing number 18 will start on the outside of row number 2. P4 starting spot for Brady Golan. And alongside him, a name that a lot of IndyCar drivers know, Sebastian Weldon, the son of the late Dan Weldon for VRD Racing. He's won on the season so far. He's still in the championship fight, currently sitting 3rd. That is Sebastian Weldon in the number 98, starting in 3rd. 21 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. On the outside from England, multi-time winner on the season as well. Currently 4th place in points. Liam McNeely for Jay Howard Driver Development. Going to start in that 2nd position in the number 9. Again, he needs to get some victories here to see if he can't close up on the driver starting on the pole. Already a bonus point here. $500 for the Continental Tire Pole Award. Max Taylor from Hoboken, New Jersey for VRD Racing. And as I said, a 40-point lead for Max Taylor coming into a triple header weekend. 40 points up, but 99 points available. If a driver comes in and sweeps, actually only 98 points available now, as he's taken that pole position and has grabbed the first of the 99 points. So Taylor's going to start from pole alongside McNeely, Weldon, and Golan on row number 2. And again, watching the rest of the field, a Leonel and a Scorpioni row 3, Elkin and Cameron row 4. Engines are firing up, folks, on pit lane. 8 races, as I said for you here. And unusual for the weekend here at Portland, we have 4 races for you on Friday. Normally for the ARC categories, usually just practice and qualifying here on a Friday, but with us running Friday and Saturday, we're going to give you 3 races here. 1 right now, a couple of qualifying sessions still to come for 2000 and Pro 2000, and they'll wrap up the day with 3 straight races. But this is the driver they are chasing. As I said before, this race declared officially wet. That means they have to start on the rain tires, but they're able to change. And that's the key right now. A rapidly drying racetrack. We're going to see pit lane action, where most of these crews, the only time they're going to see the drivers come into pit lane is if there's a mistake, if there's an incident, if there's damage. That's when the drivers will come to pit lane. There's going to be action here today. Every one of these crew members is going to have some action when they come in. We don't have an IndyCar-style pit stop. We don't have 6.5, 7-second pit stops. It takes a lot longer with the amount of people that are allowed over the wall. They'll do the front tires first, then the rears. Some of these teams with 3 or 4 cars are going to have to wait. They can't pit everybody at the same time. There's just no manpower for that. So this is going to make things super exciting for sure as we get set to go. All right, folks, let's quickly have a look at the top 5 in the points here right now. Max Taylor, as I said before, leading in the points, 281 points. Ariel Elkin with 241 points, so a 40-point difference between first and second. Sebastian Weldon just 5 points behind Elkin in third. Liam McNeely in fourth, 5 more points in arrears. And then Jack Jeffers, as I said, 71 points behind, but there is 99 points up for grabs. Jeffers would have to grab a couple of race wins, if not sweep the weekend. And then, of course, Max Taylor up front would have to run into issues as well. That is your top 5. But let's have a look at the track map as well here at Portland. Turn number 1, one of the toughest ones we have on the circuit. The Festival Chicane, right-hand turn 1, left-hand turn 2, and then the right-hand sweeping turn 3 that leads out over to turn 4. Then we have that sweeping part of the racetrack, 5, 6, 7. Long duration corners. Drivers have to hold on there just to be able to keep that power down. 7, one of the most crucial corners on the racetrack as well. That leads onto the long back straightaway, which has a kink of turn number 8, a sweep of turn number 9, back down in to a very fun complex. 10, 11, 12. The drivers will roll as much corner speed as they possibly can into the corner, get up over the curbing as well. We are not going to go have a start here right now. We're not going to have a start here right now, as we can see a driver has spun. I saw that spin on the outlap, so one of the drivers having trouble there. Maybe one of the D-Force driver development cars. Again, that is turn number 6, as I had said. Coming out of that corner, you can see they just kind of lost the rear end of the car a little bit. I think that it may be the 20 car right now of Rodrigo Gonzalez, who has gone around. So Gonzalez having some trouble there. I would expect either high center on the track. I don't know what will be wrong with the car at this point from a light spin, but the field will work their way around here now. There's the best shot that we have of Gonzalez down into turn number 6. Again, whether he's high centered on a curb or potentially a mechanical issue with him, try to get it refired. The AMR IndyCar safety crew will get out to him as quickly as possible to find out and assess the damage or whatever the situation is. I would expect there's a possibility that we may have already started the race. We may be calling this lap number 1. We occasionally do that when we have an issue like that. This could be lap number 1 in the books. But nonetheless, getting things underway here, folks. An issue early. We'll go green this next time by, ideally. But we may not, whether or not they're able to get that car rolling. One of the things, of course, this track, guys, not as long as some of the tracks we're on, so the laps click by pretty quickly. Those of you who will be joining us throughout the weekend here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, I won't be the only voice that you're going to hear as well, because I'm joined by the voices of the event, Bobby Corser and Phil Markelli. Guys, thank you so much again for being part of the broadcast. Great to have you here with us. Bobby and Phil, your race, what are your thoughts on final? Hey, we're going wheel to wheel already. It's not even noon on a Friday.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, we've seen cars spun out, going through the practice and the qualifying earlier today to get the field set for this, and some of the other races we've seen, it's incredible. You know, wet dynamics, and as we've talked about a lot already, you put one tire off and it's already going to go sideways. We saw cars going down the front stretch here just trying to dive for some of those puddles, and they're already getting sideways even on the front stretch. So it's going to be a very, very interesting race.
Well, I'll say this for the drivers. Yeah, we would like to have gone green the first time around, but really probably a good opportunity for these drivers to get a better feel for the racetrack. You know, when we go green, we leave the pits, we're going green the first time around, right? We're not driving around for a bunch of laps. So this is going to give them a chance. I called it reconnaissance laps earlier in the day here today. So a chance for them to get out here, get a feel for the track a little bit. And again, there's a lot of dry racetrack. You're going to see these guys diving to the inside wherever they can to potentially get some water. And they're all coming down to the bottom part of the racetrack already on the opening lap just to try to cool off these rain tires a little bit. There's the 33. That is Max Taylor. He is your point leader, doing double duty all year long, running both USF Juniors and USF 2000. Liam McNeely behind him. And again, those of you who've watched motorsports, you realize one of the key things about a race in the wet, not only is it about the traction and where you're going to find traction, where the race line is, but obviously huge about visibility as well. One of the biggest things about running in the rain is the rooster tails. And I can tell you from experience, when you're in a cockpit like this, open cockpit, man, Phil, it's so tough to see.
And Rob, crew chief decision? When are we going to change tires?
You know what? That feedback is going to come from the driver first, right? They've talked about it. Hey, what do you think? And I guarantee they're on the radio right now in a big way. Every one of the drivers, all 21 of these drivers are feeding back right now to their team. Can we go dry? Is the fast line, is the line going to be there? The beauty of this is they're going to have the reins on for turn number 1 and 2 and 3 because they're going to be too wide. Once you get settled into single file racing, everybody can stay on the racing line. The opening through, they're going to be side by side, maybe 2, 3, 4 wide, maybe into turn number 1, we don't know. So once they get through that opening lap, they're going to be on the radio like crazy, and it's going to come down to the drivers. Some drivers aren't going to be comfortable. Other drivers, maybe more experienced, are going to say, I'm ready, let's do this deal. So, and again, the crazy thing, Phil, is that there's not enough manpower to bring everybody in at once on a team. You're going to have to stagger the guys that come into pit lane.
And you got to make it through turns 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's the one thing as well. We'll bring that out for those of you who maybe didn't listen to qualifying. A new rule here for this year. Many years, you watch the videos some years past, drivers would come down in the start, not even try to make the corner, because if there was an incident, they would cut the course. If you cut the course, you are going to go to the tail of the field. You either have to drop to the tail of the field, or it's going to be a drive-through penalty. So again, a different mindset for these young drivers of how they're going to approach the festival chicane, turns 1, 2, and 3. You have to make it to the right side of the turn 2 apex. If you do not, you're going to go to the tail of the field. So we'll see how it all plays out. Drivers on the outside are in the toughest position here because you're going to have to make sure you get back to the right side of the racetrack. Everybody has to play nice. Portland, as we know, the starts have been chaotic. We've seen championships decided over the chaos and incidents in the start. Everybody's got to mind their P's and Q's. They'll come out of the final corner. Everybody's settling back into position. The first of 8 races on the weekend here at Portland. Time to get going. Championship weekend for the USF Pro Championships. Field looking good. Aaron Likens in the stand, and we are green, green, green. The race down into turn number 1. Down to the bottom of the racetrack goes the number 33. They'll go 4. How about 5? Make it 6 wide coming into turn number. Oh, there's contact there. Jack Jeffers is going to go off, and I think Jeffers is going to have to take the cut through. He'll have to fall to the very tail of the field. We just talked about that. Another driver around. One of the inter MS guys gets wrecked. That is Hudson Potter, spun from the rear. Somebody got to the back of Hudson Potter coming out of that corner and looped him around. Otherwise, drivers clean and green coming through. I expect they're going to tell Jack Jeffers to fall to the tail of the field because he did not make that corner, and that was one of the key incidents. You have to get through to the right side of the curbing in turn number 2. Clean start otherwise, though. Pretty solid launch to the race. Max Taylor goes into P1, not surprisingly, and a lot of crazy racing, Bobby, further back.
Oh, it's been what a great start, but most of the guys made it through there cleanly. A couple cars spun, as you said, but they're still battling as we now go through the back course here through 8, 9, and 10. Guys are side by side, wheel to wheel. Nobody is giving up stuff, but you're seeing cars now having to search for those puddles, keep those rain tires cool until they're able to come in and put the slicks on.
So I think the key thing right now is race control will very likely be talking to Jack Jeffers. He's the driver who went off, but does he have to fall all the way to the very, very back with a couple of drivers who had incidents and maybe have spun around? How far back does he have to go? That will come from race control. One driver coming into pit lane already. Not sure who that was. Another into pit lane. So it's a drive-through. Yeah, a drive-through for Jack Jeffers. Jeffers is coming in. So he's falling to the tail of the field, but I think they're going to put slick tires on for Jeffers. So this isn't going to play out as badly as they come across the line for the first time. We're underway. Taylor, your leader. Weldon runs in second. Gold in third. Elk in fourth. And Liam McNeely, top 5. Couple drivers into pit lane already. Jack Jefferson, I think maybe Joshua Leonel as well. And I talked about the fact that it would be the feedback from the driver saying, hey, I can do this. For Jeffers, maybe more situational. He was going to have to fall to the tail of the field anyways for not getting through the racetrack in turn 1, 2, and 3, taking the chicane escape route instead. So why not capitalize, serve the penalty by falling to the tail of the field? Let's get those tires changed. So a good call there for the crew of Exclusive Autosport to get Jeffers into pit lane. Now, how does that play out? We're going to look at lap times when they get back out here. I'll say this, they've lost a lot of ground on the racetrack, Bobby, but the bottom line is the way this track is here, somebody's lost a front wing. We'll come back to you, Bobby, in a second. We've lost a front wing in the battle coming down. That was one of the front battles. That is one of the Inter-MS cars. That might have been Ariel Elkin. Second place in points. He needed to win, and he has lost his front wing. Action here early in USF Juniors. And Elkin's going to come in to get that. They're going to put a wing on, and they're going to change the tire. So a lot of action here again. Man, this is wild stuff here today already to get things underway. This race, 15 laps with a 40-minute window, 15-lapper. And again, you see that we've worked a couple of laps already simply because of the fact that we had those yellow laps. So 4 in the books right now. A number of drivers already in the pit lane. You're going to see drivers fall laps behind. Jack Jeffers, Jesse Molina are going to go a couple laps back because it takes a long time to get these tires changed. And we know our lap times are quick, second and a half, a minute and a half. So guys are going to fall laps back, but when everybody comes into pit lane, Bobby, that's where I was going with this. Eventually, everybody's going to have to go into pit lane. Jack Jeffers already back out onto the racetrack.
It's a gamble early, but as you said, it's beneficial for him because already have fallen to the back of the field. Let's take the time. Let's get the slicks on. Let's make sure the car is good to go, and now let's go attack, and they can do that.
So there you have there another driver into pit lane getting work done there. That is the number 8 of Timothy Carell. Timmy Carell into pit lane, and you're going to have a look here. Again, there's only so many drivers, or so many crew over the wall. We do have a driver slowed coming out of turn number 6 over to turn number 7 off the racetrack. Another driver with an issue. So there's Timmy Carell, the crew going to work. And again, a good opportunity to see rear tires first. The quick jack goes down. They'll come back around to the front, quick jack it back up. Only 3 people across the wall, a jack man and 2 tire changers. So they'll come back to the front. Being told an issue between the 55 of Scorpioni and the 19 of Patricio Gonzalez. So a number of drivers in the pit lane. Lionel back out, Carell back out. So let's start the weekend off with a little bit of excitement. There's that driver off the racetrack there. We have a full course yellow for a driver off the racetrack. Not quite sure who that is at this point. I don't know. It might be the 55 of a Scorpioni off coming out of turn number 6 to turn number 7. I don't know what the call is right now in terms, like with this full course yellow, the drivers could come in and they're not going to lose laps. That's the key. This could be horrible for Lionel, Jeffers, Carell, who all came in to change, or will they cycle back around as the leader? So we did have an issue of a driver in turn number 1. Let's have a look at that replay. There has been a lot of action here in the opening couple of laps. So again, turn number 1, we saw a bit of action there. This is a shot from right on the inside of the corner. There's the shot there of Elkin with no wing. As he's rolling through there with no wing. You see the drivers are different approach. Some of them a little bit onto the apex, others all over. That's Timmy Carell. That's the number 8 of Timmy Carell who came in and put tires on. I don't know whether or not he potentially could have the new tires on already. Yeah, I think he may have had the fresh rubber on already. He knows he's got to get back around. So look at everybody else coming back into pit lane. So a number of drivers into pit lane here on the yellow. The key is for guys like Jeffers, Lionel, and Carell, I have a feeling that the speed of this lap could mess them up. They may not be able to get back around enough to get their laps back. You know what I'm saying, Phil? That's the issue, right? Because these guys have a lot slower lap to go around when they're changing tires.
Do you think changing tires was the issue why he spun around?
Oh, for Carell, yeah, he 100% was on the fresh rubber. And again, you're out there with slicks, not in the reins, and if you're just in the wrong spot or didn't have the rubber or didn't have the grip turning in, the car went around on him. This is the Jay Howard crew going to work here on the number 9 of Liam McNeely, again, one of our championship contenders. Ariel Elkin came into pit lane as well. As I said, a quick change as the 33's back out. Jeffers came back in the number 92. I wonder whether or not they made him serve his penalty at that point. I don't know how that played out. A lot of permutations in what's happening here trackside.
So you have to do a drive-through and go to the tail end.
Well, again, that wasn't stipulated the way it kind of played out, right? He didn't make the corner at the start, as we said. He essentially has to fall to the tail of the field. He did that, but while pitting to get the tires changed. Race control may have said, okay, that's not enough. That's not enough of a penalty, and you can't capitalize on the penalty. I'm not obviously in race control right now. That's something we can unpack when the race is done. Otherwise, drivers working their way around here now. G3 Argyros has gone to the front. Augusto Soto Sharipa in second. Christian Cameron third. Diego Guillo in fourth. Griffin Yell in fifth. Leonardo Scorpioni, the driver that was involved. Not sure whether or not he was able to refire. Quick look down where I am right now at the end of pit lane. João Vergara for Exclusive Autosport in the number 9. He has his tires changed. He's back out. There's the car there of Elkin. He has not yet changed the front wing. Another one of the Inter-MS cars pulling into pit lane. There's the 24 right now, Soto Sharipa. He's potentially now the leader. I think G3 Argyro's made a move into pit lane. There's a 7 of Griffin Yellen. That's the 26 of Hudson Potter, who got hit from behind coming out of turn number 2 and looped around. Number 10 of Michael Suko now into pit lane as well. VRD crew going to work. Again, this is not something these guys practice, because we rarely have this kind of a transition situation. As you see there, good look there as the wheel lug goes on, then you got to get that pin in it as well. If the pin doesn't go in, you don't leave pit lane. So a little bit of help there for the right sides. Again, car's not set up for quick pit stops. Crew's not set up as well, having a little bit of trouble there with the left rear, or the right rear rather. Left rear almost on as well. Super close, and Suko will be able to get back out. Christian Cameron back on track. Suko rolling out there in the sticker Continental. So still an issue. So there's obviously going to be some damage to Scorpione's cars that had to go up on the hook, not going to roll back as well. So they've got that cleaned up. I would expect we'll go back around one more time. I don't know that we'll be able to go green this time by Bobby, but maybe one more lap under yellow. Anybody
want to take a gamble of not bailing for pit lane and getting the slicks on?
Yeah, well, the top 4 drivers did that. Augusto Soto Sharipa, Griffin Yellen, JT Hoskins, and Hudson Potter all cycling to the front. They did not come in to get tires changed. And, for a driver like Soto Sharipa, who's on an outside shot at winning the championship. You go back to Max Taylor in 5th, Sebastian Weldon 6th, 7th, Liam McNeely. Those drivers all changed. He can find track, right? We're already, we'll put lap 8 in the books when they come back around. There's only 7 more to go. What if we get another yellow? Track position maybe for Soto Sharipa, because he started a little further down the order, right? So definitely rolling the dice. But again, with a track that has tough conditions like this that could bring in another yellow, we bang out another 2, 3, 4 yellow laps. It's all about track position right now for the guys up front.
Yeah, a couple more people diving in for pit lane as we watch them come down the front straight. But again, where's that fine line between that gamble of hey, maybe we sneak one out here, maybe we run the risk of other guys going off the track, as you said, because the guys that have the racing slicks on, those tires are not warm. Yes, there is a racing line now established, but that doesn't mean that you're going to have the best grip in every part of the cars.
Soto Sharipa, 80 points back in the championship, right? So the key for him is that he needs to do whatever. He's got to win, right? So he started 12th, take full advantage of it, see what, he's got to roll the dice to try to win this race. I'm told by our control here that we may have had a sketchy situation involving the pace car. Let's have a look at this replay. I'll pick it up as well myself. So you can see the pace car out here to the right. One driver, this driver is trying to get his lap back, I believe. Comes to the inside. Pace car having to check up a little bit. That was Joao Vergara, and I understand that 100%. I'm surprised that the pace car didn't check there a little bit. He's going to go to the outside. Vergara had to check it up. He's trying to keep himself on the lead lap. That's what that was, or at least save a lap for Joao Vergara. I don't know exactly what race control is going to say about that, but indeed, listen, how many times have you seen that where you're trying to beat the pace car back out?
Oh, a lot.
Right?
So where was it? But
yep,
that was a little too close for comfort.
It was tight, because I'll tell you, the Honda pace car versus a USF Juniors car, I think the Honda's going to come out in better shape. That was a great partnership that we started earlier this year with Honda, with their new Honda Civic Type R as our pace car. So,
and a beautiful ride.
Oh, it's such a nice car.
Shades of Scott Goodyear in Indianapolis, but
wow, all right.
Was that 15 years ago, 16 years ago? A long time.
Way more than that. Way more. Wasn't it in the 80s?
I'm going to have to look that up, because that's still one of the most amazing moments in IndyCar racing history.
So here we go. I think we may be going back to green flag. We're right back at it. One driver's came into pit lane from the front. That might have been JT Hoskins, I think, pulling off. Soto Sharipa's going to grab the lead. He's going to keep the car down on the bottom. He gets a great start right now. Timmy Carell now running in the second spot. Green flag flying once again. 9 laps in. We're working lap number 10. Soto Sharipa is going to have to really manage this race and make sure he does what he needs to do to get those rain tires cool. The more time he spends in the wet part of the racetrack to cool those tires down, the better. But as he runs through these long duration corners, turn number 4, 5, 6, and 7, going to burn those tires up big time. He'll be able to, of course, leverage it when he works his way back down the long back straightaway from turn 7 all the way to turn number 10. He'll run away from the racing line to try to cool those tires off. Will it pay off? Because right now, watch that move into second. That's Timmy Carell now running there in the second position. I believe Max Taylor's up into third, although Carell, I think, maybe a lap back. So yeah, Timmy Carell, who runs in the second spot, actually a lap back right now. He needs to reel in. For him, he needs to reel on Soto Sharipa. If he then goes by, he doesn't take the lead, but he takes back and puts himself back on the lead lap, and then would, of course, at that point, need a yellow flag. The drivers who are a lap back, Hoskins, Yellen, Carell, Gonzalez, and Jeffers. Tough one for Jack Jeffers making that call to come in. I believe they may have not have allowed him to use the penalty to change tires. Might have been better for him to come in and serve the drive-through first. Again, I don't know whether or not, I'll have to figure this out. I'm not sure whether or not we have more yellow flags. Yellow flag, once again, another caution here. Unsure where the incident is on the racetrack, but another caution here, starting lap number 11. Another driver in turn number 6, well off over there. That looks to potentially be, that's a long way away. Is that one of the Inter-MS cars? I'm not quite sure who that is. It could be one of the Inter-MS cars. That's a possibility. Again, tough here as they're going to work to grab that car. And again, is this going to play into the hands of Augusto Soto Sharipa? He is the leader right now. Max Taylor running in second, Liam McNeely third, Sebastian Weldon fourth, and Brady Golan in fifth. Again, only 13 drivers remain on the lead lap. Argyros, Hoskins, Yellen, Carell, and Jeffers. Now, okay, that wasn't one of the Inter-MS cars. That was the number 20 of Rodrigo Gonzalez. He's the driver who had spun on the outlap. Another issue over in turn number 6 for Rodrigo Gonzalez to bring another yellow out. The key is, will this allow the opportunity for Soto Sharipa to come away with a race win? He's doing whatever he can to get those tires cooled down. Max Taylor would love to see a restart to see if he can't dive right back by him. So the field will work its way down here right now. Everybody, again, watch. They're all taking so different lines, trying to see if they can't cool the tires. Look at that. That's way to the outside for Soto Sharipa, trying to find moisture wherever he possibly can. He knows he's coming down to the puddles here as well. Yeah, cooling those reins down. Hey, the bottom line is track position, guys. It's helped Soto Sharipa. He started 12th. He cycles himself to the front, gets the yellow flags he wants. Even if we go back to green and a couple guys are able to get by him, he's doing the best he can to try to maximize the result in a tough situation.
Absolutely, and he's taking advantage of the situation given, as you said. I think it's smart, though. I mean, he knows where the puddles are. He's going to intentionally put his car in the spot. Reduce speeds, not worrying about where right now. We've got 4 to go. Will be 3 to go when they cross the line. Still under a full course caution. Probably 2 laps, maybe?
Yeah.
2-lap shootout?
I always say that the AMR IndyCar safety team, best in the business as we know, they get this done quick. And you can see already, they've already got the car up on the hook already, so they're going to get him somewhere quick. I don't think we'll go green this time by, because they're going to have to get him to somewhere safe. They may even try to get him, if they have a full lap, back to the paddock area. That's a possibility. But that is, again, Rodrigo Gonzalez.
And pace car stayed on pit lane. It has not gone out, so.
Oh, that's very interesting. The fact that we did not have the pace car out for this one here. They essentially called it down to Augusto Soto Sharipa to handle this situation. So, again, I don't know whether we go green this time by. The big thing for Soto Sharipa is he's got the lap car of Timmy Carell in there as well. Yeah, we're still cleaning up here. So we're not going to go green. It looks like they brought him back out and got him refired. I think they pulled him out of the gravel trap and dropped him back down. So, yeah, indeed, Gonzalez continuing. There he is right there. So they got him fired back up again. There's going to be 3 laps to go when they come back around here now. This is lap number 12 in the books across the line, I believe. Yep. So there's 3 laps to go. Man, I knew we were going to have some excitement and an intriguing story and some permutations, but this is not what I expected.
Now, Rob, as a race fan that's seeing this series for the first time, Do you go green to the checkered, or can you finish under a caution?
We can finish under the caution for sure. We'll do everything we can to have at least one green flag at the end, even if at time we will potentially red flag to try to get a couple laps, because we have a big window, right? We have a 40-minute window to run this race in. It's only a 15-lapper, so a lot of time in the window to get it done. Green flag next time by, I'm being told, so it's going to be a 2-lap dash. Augusto Soto Sharipa looking to try to find another race win. He scored a victory at VIR. He's got 5 podiums on the year, currently sitting 6th spot in points. Doing whatever he can to potentially try to battle with Max Taylor. Taylor in 3rd's in a good spot, but right behind him is Liam McNeely. He has to finish in front of Taylor as well, so I think McNeely's going to get super aggressive. Liam McNeely is back by 50 points. He cannot let Taylor pull away. There's 3 races on the docket. If Taylor leads by 67 points at the end of this race, he clinches the championship. Because with only 66 points left, even if somebody's perfect, they're not going to be able to catch him. I don't think that's going to happen now. Where's Ariel Elkin in the points on the track? He's back in 12th. You know what? It's a possibility still. That's the crazy thing. So this is going to go into the hands right now of Soto Sharipa. He needs to get those tires nice and cool before he works them down the straightaway. We're back at it. Green flag already flying at start finish. He'll go down to the bottom of the racetrack. Timmy Carell to the top side. I think a big jump here as well. Yeah, we're going to go 3 wide. Check this out. Championship contenders McNeely, Weldon, and Taylor. All 3 wide coming in. McNeely's going to go around the outside of Taylor. Weldon's going to stick to the bottom as well. Oh, almost contact through turn number 2. So Taylor gets pushed back a couple. He can be very cautious here right now. He does not need to win. He just needs to rack up a couple of more points. Soto Sharipa's going to try to hold back Carell, but remember, Timmy Carell's just trying to get himself back on the lead lap. Soto Sharipa trying to roll the dice, holding the position. Carell is through, but can McNeely get by as well? He does. McNeely is through. Soto Sharipa holding now on to P3. Taylor in 4th. Weldon 5th. Weldon has to get by Taylor. Watch for him to be super aggressive. Drivers working their way through. Again, they will see, I believe, white flag this next time by. White flag will fly when they come back around. Liam McNeely is now your leader because Carell's a lap back. McNeely is a leader. Soto Sharipa holding on for what will be 2nd place right now. Carell is back into 2nd, so he's no longer on the lead lap. Liam McNeely looking to come away with a victory here, and watch out for more racing. Soto Sharipa, of course, a sitting duck with those rain tires, does not have the grip that he needs. But Weldon going to go after his teammate, Max Taylor. Weldon's going to try to come across the bow. He's able to take the spot. Weldon goes now into the 2nd spot. So Weldon to 2nd. Soto Sharipa back to 4th. Again, for him, he's just trying to do whatever he can right now to hold the spot. McNeely leads. Weldon 2nd, Taylor 3rd, Soto Sharipa 4th, Golan, Gonzalez, Cameron, Cooley, Elkin, Vergara. Top 10. Final lap. Elbows up for Augusto Soto Sharipa on the reins. Just obviously doesn't have the grip. He can't carry the corner speed. But he'll do whatever he can to try to hold a spot. A great roll of the dice for the Interim S crew, but this is huge for Liam McNeely. McNeely came in 50 points back, a possibility of making up 5, 6, maybe 7 points on Max Taylor. Taylor's going to be fighting for as much as he can in the end. But Liam McNeely for Jay Howard, scoring a win in Mid-Ohio, his last victory. This would be huge. He had 2 very rough runs at Road America, but he'll roll it on the front straight. Oh, he almost throws it away coming onto the front straight. As they come across the line, checker flag will fly, and Liam McNeely, the British driver, taking first blood in a triple header here at Portland on championship weekend. Weldon comes home in 2nd, 3rd, Taylor, 4th for Brady Golan. Augusto Soto Sharipa on the reins, holds on for 5th. Patricio Gonzalez, his best finish of the year, 6th. Christian Cameron, 7th. Evan Cooley from deep in the field up to 8th. Ariel Elkin, 9th. And Joao Vergara ends up in 10th. Jack Jeffers, 17th after the issue there. Just was not able to get the car turned coming into turn number 1 and 2. There is the results unofficial for race number 1 of USF Juniors. Wow. Huge victory for Liam McNeely. Sebastian Weldon ends up in second, Max Taylor in third. So the difference there, 8 points. So McNeely closes up. So it's not over yet. McNeely, Weldon, Taylor to the podium. Brady Golan, I believe his best finish of the year. He had an 8th and a couple of 9th place finishes. So Golan to P4. Augusto Soto-Shrima holding on for 5th, as I had said. Patricio Gonzalez, definitely his best finish of the year, up into 6th. Great job for Patricio. Christian Cameron 7th, Evan Cooley 8th, Ariel Elkin 9th, and Joao Vergara rounding out the top 10. Remember, Vergara is the one who was able to just sneak out and get in front of the pace car. Diego Guillo in 11th, Michael Succo, his best finish of the year in 12th. Hudson Potter up to 13th, 14th for JT Hoskins. And again, then Griffin Yell on the last driver on the lead lap. Timmy Carell, Jack Jefferson, Joshua Leonel a lap back. And then the final drivers, GT Argyros and Rodrigo Gonzalez and Leonardo Scorpioni. Now there is the race winner coming in. Liam McNeely will be thrilled with this one, folks. I guarantee it. He needed the victory. He knows he needs to win all 3 races, to be honest. He's got to do the best he can to sweep the weekend. 30 points. Didn't lead the most laps. I don't know whether or not he has the he has the fast lap, so that's a bonus point as well. So 31 points for him. 23 points, I believe, for Taylor. So a big one there for Liam McNeely. First of 8 races for you here on the weekend, on the Friday and the Saturday for the USF Pro Championships. The rest of the crew is going to work their way back, because I'm going to run down right now to the podium. We got podium celebrations to happen. I believe while I'm doing that, we may not yet be started with USF 2000 qualifying, but it's coming. And we follow with the USF Pro 2000 qualifying. Bobby Corser, I'm going to leave it in your hands right now. You can throw it down to me when we're ready, but Victory Lane celebrations up next.
Hey, what a great way to start the first race. Phil, I'll bring you in here as well. Entertainment, start to finish. We talk about every year. Festival Curves, the Shelton Chicane, Corner 1, that's where the story's written.
And the weather has had a lot to do with it today. I mean, we didn't see this weather the last, we didn't have this class here last year, of course, but we didn't see the weather in the IndyCar weekend as we're going to see today and even tomorrow possibly.
Right, and again, track is dry, and that's what we've said is going to happen throughout the morning as we start to see the clouds really kind of lighten up, sun kind of starting to peek through in some spots, but we know more rain is coming this afternoon, showers, possible thunderstorms as well, but just get the races in and get them done early, and man, what a great run right there. Man,
yeah, let's don't forget.
Impressive drive.
Exactly. Let's don't forget to remind the fans, though, in about 15 minutes, NTT IndyCar Series autograph session in the speed zone. Now, where can they find the speed zone, Bobby?
Speed zone is the area that lines the front stretch on the outside of the paddock, so on the other side of the track. So it's where you see all of our sponsors, all of our vendors. That is the speed zone. It's where IndyCar merchandise is. So right in that area, that's where they'll be doing the autograph session here coming up in just a few minutes, as you said. Chance to go meet your favorite NTT IndyCar driver. Great times as well. We all love going over to the autograph session. Such a great time. So much energy, so much fun.
Look how young these guys are. We talked about the young age of these drivers and doing autographs on their way through to maybe some future drivers too.
Absolutely.
It's a great series.
McNeely, Weldon, and Taylor, great run for those 3 gentlemen. They'll go over and have the podium celebration here with Rob in a few minutes. But man, first of many races today. What a great show early on. Just setting the table for the rest of the weekend here at PIR.
A lot of racing today, tomorrow, and then our finals on Sunday.
Cannot wait, cannot wait. But man, just great. We will, like Rob said, we are going to do victory celebration here in just a few minutes. You'll have a chance to hear from the drivers as well. I want to hear their thoughts. Very challenging course, dynamic weather conditions, changing track from a wet to a dry stance. We saw a couple drivers roll the dice and not opt to go the racing slicks, stay with the wet tires, and it didn't necessarily pay off. But some of the other people did gamble, and they decided to come in early and put the slicks on and see how that was able. So it will be interesting to hear Rob talk to them about that. But we're going to see that this afternoon. We're going to see, changing conditions once the rain does kind of come back in here in a little bit. But man, what a great way to kick off the weekend, like we said.
Oh, this is the most racing we've had on a Friday at Portland International Raceway.
Tons of action here on the Friday. And we're not done. I mean, we look at the remainder of the schedule. We, of course, have USF 2000 qualifying coming up next. Then you have USF Pro 2000 qualifying from 12:55 to 1:25. Indy next on track for the first time. Their first practice 1:45 to 2:30. Then we got a 90-minute session with the NTT IndyCar Series at 2:55 to 4:10. And yeah, let's toss it down to Rob Howell. Rob's got the stars of the USF Junior Series coming off of race number 1. Rob, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate that. And again, our first of what will be 8 races here on the weekend, the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Portland. Excited to get things underway. Championship up for grabs in all 3 categories. As we know, the scholarships, of course, getting awarded once a driver does clinch. But the driver ends up getting the win here today in USF Juniors Race 1. Crucial for him. Let's start with the driver coming home in 3rd spot today. Solid points for your, right now, championship leader. Finishing in 3rd for VRD Racing, Max Taylor. Max will hop off the podium here, and again, we talk about the championship fight, the cream rising to the top at the end. Everybody in the championship fight was right there in the middle of the scrap at the end. Coming home in 2nd, able to get some points on the leader. Great run for Sebastian Weldon, P2. VRD with 2 drivers on the podium. Weldon clawing back the points to try to close back up here on Taylor. 2 more races still to come in this category for USF Juniors. 1 this afternoon, 1 tomorrow. Must win for this driver here, folks. He was 40 points back coming in. He needed to do everything he possibly could. The winner today for J. Howard Driver Development. A round of applause for Liam McNeely. Liam, come and chat with me here right now. I said, you know this. It's a must win, right? You're back quite a bit in points, but you got to claw away every race. You got to get more points. Give me your thoughts on that one. Starting on wet, going dry, that was wild.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, pretty much must win, but yeah, pretty good race. Yeah, you know, the team made all the right calls, and yeah, can't thank them enough.
Let's talk about how that track was at the very start. Was it tough? Was it, like, you were on the wets, but what kind of grip did you have out there?
For the first lap, there was quite a bit of grip, but you know, when we got 2, 3, 4 laps in, it was just the front left was just not there anymore. So yeah, you know, the caution came at the right time. All 3 of us boxed, and yeah, good to get the win.
So how does this change your mindset going into the race this afternoon? You close up a little bit, not a lot, but you close up a little bit. Is it super aggression for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, it has to be. But yeah, just keep winning and see where we end up.
Who do you want to thank today?
My team, Joe, my crew chief, and my mechanic Brian. They did all the right things, so yeah.
Congratulations. Get up on top of the box. We know the family's watching at home back in England. Great job for Liam McNeely. Again, a must-win situation. He's got to come in and maximize and get all the points he possibly can. Can't let anything hang out there, so for him to be able to get full points. I think 31 in total, 30 points for the race win. 1 point for fastest lap of the race. Of course, Max Taylor on the pole was able to get that done here too. And I'm assuming that'll put Liam McNeely on the pole, I think, for race number 2 as well. I would expect that he went faster here in the race than he did in qualifying. So that's going to allow McNeely to start on the pole position for race number 2 this afternoon at 6 o'clock. So good opportunity for McNeely to get it done. Bring in our rookie racers here, a program that happens at all the Green Savory events. A bunch of young kids getting a chance to come to the race for the first time. I'll get a chance to help them with a paddock tour later on tomorrow as well. Get a chance to meet some drivers up close and personal. What a great opportunity here on the podium. First of 3 races, as I had said, for USF Juniors. First of 8 all told on the schedule here for today. But again, these are the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. Champagne coming in on this one. You're not going to see them spray each other yet. Maybe at the end, because they got to wear these suits again later on. But guys, grab that champagne, grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate the first of 3 races. Liam McNeely getting the race win. Sebastian Weldon 2nd. Max Taylor in 3rd. Good points for Taylor in trying to win that championship, but both McNeely and Weldon able to claw themselves a little bit closer as they work their way in to try to get that championship and the scholarship to move to USF 2000 in 2025. First race of 8 done here from Portland, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying about set to roll out here. Again, remember, USF Pro 2000. Well, actually, it's USF 2000 first for qualifying. Then we'll have USF Pro 2000. 2 more sessions. We're going to keep the stream rolling here if you're watching on YouTube. Qualifying up next.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
especially with these drivers getting out there, building more heat in the tires before we're fully dry. Second-year drivers have really stepped to the forefront, and a lot of times in this program, this ladder system, we'll see drivers come into a series, their first year they learn. They learn the race car, they learn the tracks, they increase speed. They come back their second year, and that's when they battle for that championship. And not surprising, our top 4 drivers in the championship right now, Max Garcia, Sam Corey, Max Taylor, and Evagoras Papasavvas, all second-year drivers in the series. But we do have 5, half of the top 10 are rookie drivers. Joey Brianze in their battle for Rookie of the Year. He sits 5th. Hudson Schwartz in 6th. Nicholas Giaffoni in 7th. Michael Costello on the outside, potentially getting there, as is Ayrton Out. But all those drivers, again, rookie drivers, kind of the tail end of the top 10. Garcia, though, with 347 points, a healthy lead right now of 35 over Sam Corey, more than a full race. So for drivers like Corey, Taylor, and Papasavvas, their really only goal, only focus is to make sure they finish in front of Max Garcia in all 3 of the races to potentially give them a shot at this championship. The opening race of a triple header, I think, is so crucial, as we know, because it really does set the pace. We saw Liam McNeely there. He was able to gain some points back on Max Taylor and USF Juniors. Not a lot, but he gained some back. Fast lap as well, I believe, obviously quicker than the wet qualifying we had for Liam McNeely. So he's going to be on the pole position for race number 2. That's huge for that British driver, because starting up front, if all goes well, we get a green and checker race. He's got a good race car. He can pull away and get another win. A couple drivers side by side coming through turn number 8. This is qualifying, folks. You don't need to wreck each other. It is the driver's responsibility to find the open track that they're looking for. One of the issues that we had earlier in the season were drivers coming out onto the racetrack and slowing down significantly, down to 10 miles an hour, trying to see if they can make sure they weren't getting followed. There wasn't a driver that was going to try to draft with them. Happened a lot at VIR, Juniors, same thing at Road America. So race control saying, you know what, we're going to change that. If you want to gap yourself on the racetrack, you're not slowing down, waiting for a driver. You can do that by coming to the pit lane. You can do a drive-through and gap where you need to be. So what we did was we came up with a maximum lap time. So once we're onto the racetrack, you get that first lap in the books, there's a maximum time. If you're over top of that maximum time, meaning you're slowing up around the racetrack, maybe impeding other drivers, you're going to end up losing your fastest lap. The next thing we did, because drivers were doing it on the opening lap before we could actually time them, we have a minimum speed as well of 35 miles an hour. So we can go back, Phil, and look at this and say, okay, hold on. Here's 10 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. You can't do that. Minimum speed of 35. Just get out there and put your laps down.
Exactly. I got some good news for you, though, Rob. I see blue sky.
Yeah.
I see blue sky. This practice session earlier was in some wet. Now we're talking, like you said, looked like complete dry track. Going to have a lot quicker times than we did in practice.
Yeah, they'll go back to where they were yesterday, right? Phil, when we had 3 sessions. A full test day yesterday. 3 track sessions for all 3 of the series here in the USF Pro Championship. So these guys all got lots of lap times. The fast guys set their kind of fastest time in the early session. They never really got that much quicker in the afternoon because they've already kind of got themselves to the point where they know how to get around here. It's the drivers who had never been here before. We watched them like lop off, a second a session to get faster and faster. This particular category, USF 2000, with 17 drivers on the grid, ended up being 9/10 from first to last in our final session. It's super close in this category. A lot of the drivers, we still call them rookies, but they've had a full season. They've had 7 weekends already. They're not really rookies anymore, so that's why it's so competitive here at Colden when we do come for this finale weekend. So laps starting to go in here right now. Again, as I had said, 20 minutes of green flag running. Sam Corey up top right now. Max Garcia second. Evagoras Papasavvas third. Notice a trend there. All 3 of those drivers in the championship fight. Brady Golan's having a good weekend here. He was top 5 in race number 1. Golan for T-Force Racing, the Texan. Got some good speed here. Quinn Armstrong in there as well. We'll look at Joey Brianze as he goes up to P4. Just seeing some drivers rolling. G3 Archeros in the 63 now rolling out, as is the number 1 of Giaffoni. They're going to come right down into turn number 1 with a bunch of drivers in speed here. Now, this is the key. When they're coming back out here, whatever you do, don't impede another driver. If you do that, you lose an opportunity potentially. He's done a good job. Giaffoni's done a good job to stay out of the way. So if you impede another driver when they come back out onto the racetrack, you're going to get yourself an opportunity to potentially get a fast lap taken away. Argiro stayed to the outside, coming through turn number 4 and 5. Elliot Cox rolling out on the track for the first time as well. Triple header weekend for the drivers here in USF 2000. They'll get 4 sets of tires to use. That's the interesting thing. Do you get a chance to use? Do you use the tires? How do you play in qualifying? With only 20 minutes, it's really tough, especially on a short track like this, to potentially roll in and make changes on tires, because it does take 2.5, 3 minutes to change tires. Sam Corey up on top still. Evagor's Papa Sabas now goes to P1. Thomas Schrag, who's quickest this morning, to P1 now for VRD Racing. Papa Sabas had a fantastic start to the year. 5 straight podium finishes. And disaster in race 2 at Indianapolis. He actually had 6 straight top 5, then a 19th. Bounced back with a podium 3rd on the oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Didn't get the first victory until Mid-Ohio, and then followed it up with a win, a must-win, I think, for him in Toronto to keep himself in mathematical contention. He is 59 points back of Max Garcia right now, but 99 points is set up for grabs. So it's a potential for Papa Sabas with 288 points to go to 387 points. So Garcia with 347. If he gets 41 all told, he'll be able to eliminate Papa Sabas. As we know, race number 1 for USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 coming this afternoon. We'll cap the day off with race number 2 for USF Juniors. We're going to have a really good picture of the championship fight when we roll into Saturday. 1 race for Junior, 1 race for 2000, 1 race for Pro. We may have a Pro clinch here today if Lockheed Hughes can sweep it. He's able to win the race. I think he will be able to walk away with the championship. So Lockheed Hughes and Jace Denmark, the 2 drivers fighting there. Seen so many different lines coming through that apex of turn number 1. A lot of drivers, climbing up over top of the curb. Others just absolutely almost center rolling the curbing. It's tough on your chassis to do that. Every one of these cars, of course, with the skid plate underneath. Using that up here. Final race of the year, as we know, but we're back to testing. 2nd week of September, 2-day test at Mid-Ohio. Later in the month, test at IRP at Oval Test. Closing in on the halfway point of a 20-minute session. Max Taylor, point leader, now goes to, third in points, now goes to P1. 113.1. Sam Corey's going to retake the favor. A lot of time starting to come in. So again, over a 20-minute run, let's say we do go green to checker. Obviously, tires coming up to temperature, the pressures are coming up to where they need to be, but the car gets lighter and lighter as we burn away fuel through the session as well. Ideally, everything comes together on the final lap. The car is as light as it's going to be. You've set the tire pressures perfectly as they come up to the temperature so that they're giving you the exact grip that you need. And then from there, the driver has been able to gap himself to the point where he's not going to get closed up by another driver. How many times do you hear a racer say that? Hey, I was on a flyer and I caught up to a slower guy in front of me. That's the driver's responsibility. Make sure you gap yourself when you need to gap yourself. That last lap, that flyer at the end of 20 minutes, you need to make sure you're not held up by anybody in front of you. And then, over the almost 2 miles of asphalt here at Portland, 12 corners, you have to nail them all. Entry, apex, exit. Can't leave anything on the table. When you go back to the paddock, back in the debrief room, in the engineering room, and you lay down all your data, they're able to see a theoretical best. So when you split the track up into different segments, the data acquisition system is able to get your best segments and show you what your theoretical best lap time, meaning you went this quick through sector 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you put all the best together, which you know you can do, obviously, that's your theoretical best time. The closer you can get to your theoretical fastest time, the better. And that means you've fully optimized the package that you've taken to the track for qualifying. Max Taylor currently on top here right now. VRD number 3. VRD currently 1-2 with Taylor and Schrag. Max Garcia, now your point leader, goes quicker. He goes a 1:12.6. Garcia, Taylor, Schrag, Michael Costello in 4th, Papa Sabas in 5th. The number 91 of Joey Brienza, sitting 7th right now, has made a tire change. So a number of drivers are using this opportunity to come in and put fresh rubber on. So indeed, even though it's a short 20-minute session, I did say with the shortness of the track, it actually plays nicely because you only need a certain amount of laps to get your tires up to temperature. At a track like Road America, in a 20-minute session, it's tough to make a pit stop because it's so long to get back around the track. You're not going to get the lap times in. At a shorter track like the one here in Portland, you make that 2.5, 3-minute change, you're back out, you put 3, 4, 5 laps down in less than 8, 9 minutes. So again, we may see a lot of that, Phil, guys coming in, putting on fresh rubber. When you do that, you can make a minor change. Hey, the car wasn't perfect, can we do this? Go quicker in the next run.
Interesting how you call this a shorter track, which is almost 2 miles. So what are we talking about most of your tracks in, or lengthwise?
Well, Road America's over 4 miles.
Right.
BIR 3.6. A lot of the tracks will run 2.5 to 3 miles. Will be the size. Again, some of the tracks, like a Toronto street circuit's a little shorter as well. But we run a lot of big, long racetracks for sure. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a long racetrack as well. So normally our lap times anywhere, from 1:30 to 1 to 2 minute laps, or even longer, of course, when we go to Road America.
You think a driver would prefer a shorter track?
No, I think a driver likes a track that has all the challenges they want, right?
Sure.
It doesn't matter how long the racetrack is. That's the cool factor of running a big, long track like Road America that has a bunch of long straightaways, hard braking zones, and then you come to a more of a bullring track like, Mid-Ohio's even like a bit of a bullring track. Something a little bit shorter that still pushes the drivers to be their best. This track has everything the drivers want. As I said before, the USF Juniors drivers who had never been here before came into the paddock at the end of the day and were just raving about it. They loved it because there's such different nuances of this particular facility.
Sure.
Max Garcia on top of the 112.646, 7.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. Max Taylor second, Thomas Schrag third. Costello fourth, Nicholas Giaffoni now up to fifth. Last year's USF Juniors champion. Giaffoni coming in right now 8th place in points, but not out of the realm of possibility to working his way up into the top 5. And again, that's the Rookie of the Year battle. Brienza, Schwartz, Giaffoni, all in this Rookie of the Year fight. Sam Corey now 6th. Second place in points coming in. He needs to step things up. He needs that pole. Evagores Papasavas 7th. Joey Brienza 8th. Hudson Schwartz at 9th. Quinn Armstrong rounding out the top 10. Just over a second separating the entire field right now. Max Garcia back to Maxwell Jamison. Again, 99 points out there for an absolute complete sweep of the weekend. All 3 race wins, pole, fast lap of the race, most laps led, 99 points. Max Garcia, who comes in here right now with a 35-point lead over his teammate from Pabst Racing, Sam Corey. It's about grabbing as many points as you can. Pole position being the first one. Trying to steal that one away. Garcia, Taylor, Schrag, Costello, Giaffoni. 6 minutes still to go. A number of drivers, as we know, have come in to put on fresh rubber. It's going to give them a couple laps to get going. Sam Corey in the Pabst Racing number 23 rolling out. So indeed, he's got fresh rubber and 5 minutes and 50 seconds to do something with it. See drivers rocketing down the back straightaway here into that fantastic 10, 11, 12 combination. They are literally hanging the car out to dry through that corner on the ragged edge, throwing it into turn number 10, that left-hander. And then again, it's almost a double apex to roll back out onto the front straightaway. You're just carrying so much speed. 11 and a little, kind of releasing 11 as you're going a little bit straighter to get the car back turned in. It's not a full constant radius right-hander. Such a fantastic corner and crucial. That's what leads you onto the straightaway to potentially make that run down into turn number 1. Inside pass into turn 1, big. Even an outside pass, if the driver's going to defend to the inside, you can get alongside. As long as you're ahead outside of 1, you're going to have the inside line going into turn number 2. USF Pro 2000 drivers over on the false grid outside of turn number 10 and 11 right now, where we're paddocked here at Portland International Raceway. We're going to keep rolling through the broadcast here. Between sessions, getting an opportunity to show you the newest episode of The Climb, our USF Pro Championships documentary series. The Climb focused this episode on the events at Toronto, so stay tuned for that. we'll again continue the stream all the way through to the end of qualifying for USF Pro 2000. A big hello to those of you who are on the YouTube channel watching all the action here from Portland. Normally I try to have my laptop open so I can follow up on the chat with you guys there, but not working. We don't have Wi-Fi access right now here. We're going to work on that for the afternoon. Hope you're enjoying a Friday. 3 more races to come, as I had said. 4 o'clock for USF 2000, 5:15 for USF Pro 2000, 6 o'clock for USF Juniors. Tomorrow, USF 2000 back on track for their second race at 10 in the morning. If you're trackside here, autograph session, very likely just by the bridge on the front straightaway. We'll have our autograph session at 12:40. Working through all of our drivers. 1:45 scheduled start time for the final race of USF Juniors. We will know the champion for sure. It may happen actually later today. We'll see. But very likely we'll crown our champion in USF Juniors at 1:45. 3 o'clock start time for USF Pro 2000, then 5:45 to cap off the day on Saturday. Cap off the 2024 season for USF Pro Championships Racing with USF 2000, their final race of the triple header. Sunday evening, we'll have our championship celebration. As I said before, pass out over $1.68 million prize money and awards. Scholarship, as we know, $263,000 plus that for USF Juniors champion. USF 2000 driver here on the racetrack right now, $458,000 to move to Indy. USF Pro next year. And then, of course, USF Pro 2000 champion scholarship valued at over $681,000 to put towards an Indy Next program in 2025. Again, folks, Continental Tire, a fantastic partner for us this year, signing a new contract to have them as our spec tire for multiple years. If you're looking for premium performance now through August 31st, receive a Visa prepaid card by mail with any purchase of 4 qualifying Continental tires. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ContinentalTire.com for full details. Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. Being told we have a red flag on track here right now. Red flag. Max Garcia still on top, but we have an issue on the racetrack. Red flag. Being told potential oil on the racetrack. So track conditions here right now. We've gone green throughout this entire session. So again, we're only 18 minutes in the session. Still 2 more minutes remaining. The key is, can anybody do anything with 2 minutes again coming back in? Right now, Max Garcia on top. This could be good for Max. Garcia on top with a 112.646. Not only is that pole position for race 1, but a bonus point there for qualifying on pole as he tries to win a championship here. The second-year driver for Pabst Racing out of Florida. Thomas Schrag in second, Max Taylor third, Elliott Cox fourth, Michael Costello fifth. I will say this as well, Max Taylor with the second quickest time right now, so provisionally on the pole for race number 2. But if they go quicker in race number 1, they'll be able to substitute their times. So it's Garcia, Schrag, Taylor, Cox, Costello top 5, Giafoni 6th, Brienza 7th, Schwartz 8th, Corey 9th, and Papasavas 10th. For race number 2, your second fastest lap, right now provisionally Taylor and Schrag will be on the front row. Third quickest second lap is Elliott Cox. Fourth, Nicholas Giafoni. So unsure whether or not leveraging the last 2 minutes would do anything, because literally when they head to the track, by the time they got around, they'd get 1 more lap, because they'd get back around. By the time they get out there, you're looking at, a minute and a half maybe remaining. I don't know that they'll be able to sneak back in and get 2 laps. Being told an issue in turn number 5 potentially as well. That car 6 would be Evagoras Papasavas. So turn 5, the end of the kind of right-handing sweep. This is turn 1, 2, and then 3 is the right-hander that leads into the short chute over to 4. Big sweeping 4, 5, things kind of tighten up, and there you see it there. So not just the oil on the racetrack, but also an incident for Evagoras Papasavas. He's down into 10th. I have a feeling they've already applied the penalty for bringing out a red flag. When you bring out a red flag, you lose your fastest lap of the race. Again, the penalty for an issue. He's gone off the racetrack. So, Phil, that's going to be tough for Papasavas, a driver who comes in here sitting 4th in points, but significantly back. A driver needed to maximize every situation.
Did he cause the oil? Did he get in the oil? That's the issue. But either way, you would, if you brought the red out,
that's it.
That would be the way it would be. So
that is your point leader right there, Max Garcia at Coconut Grove, Florida. Second year in the series, just 15 years of age. Last year was not able to run the first events of the year because he had not yet turned 14. So we've changed that around. We talked about that earlier this weekend. We actually made an adjustment to the minimum age requirements for all 3 of the series for 2025. You now must be 14 years of age before you can run in an official session for USF juniors, whether it's an official test, whether it's spring training or an event. You have to be 14 years of age, a hard 14. This year, 13. You can be 13 if you turn 14 during the season. Next year, you have to be 14 for any of the tests, any of the sessions. USF 2000, the same goes. It's 15 years of age, minimum age, and 16 for USF Pro 2000. So we need all the drivers have brought themselves back to pit lane. They're, again, doing what they can here with the number 6 at Evagoras, Papasavas, the Jay Howard driver development car going off in turn number 5. Garcia on top right now, though, but not even a 1/10 of a second over Thomas Schrag. So Garcia for Pabst Racing, Schrag and Taylor second and third for VRD. Elliot Cox, the solo effort for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. Cox in the Stars and Stripes, red, white, and blue, number 67. He's P4. And actually, right now, third for race number 2, the second fastest lap. Michael Costello, 5th. Nicholas Giaffoni, 7th. Joey Brienza in 8th. 9th is Hudson Schwartz. 10th, Sam Corey. 11th. Rather, 9th is Corey. 10th is Papasavas. Again, we talk about the championship battle between Garcia, Corey, Taylor. That Rookie of the Year fight still up for grabs. Joey Brienza leading the way, but right there, right around him, Nicholas Giaffoni and Hudson Schwartz and Michael Costello as well. Costello, he's not totally out of it right now. He'd have to have a fantastic weekend to try to jump up over top of Brienza, but Brienza, Schwartz, Giaffoni, the primary contenders. Although in qualifying right now, Costello the quickest. Good shot of pit lane. Crews having a look at their cars. Tech officials there as well from the series. Can't adjust anything on a red flag. So I'm going to say this is where the potential oil drop was. Not exactly sure what that would have been from, but the AMR IndyCar safety crew having a really good look at the 10, 11, 12 complex. Great shot of this corner. Because you can see how the back straightaway actually does sweep a bit to the right there, coming through turn number 9. Back into the hard braking turn number 10, the left-hander. The drivers will pitch that car and get over top of that curbing on the right side there, right there. Left side of the track, boom, all over top of that curbing. And then, again, as you come through, the car's already kind of drifting to the right side, but you got to throw it back to the left into that double apex. You can see the first apex there, and then you'll watch them come out of the corner. In fact, they'll go over that white line where the other part of the racetrack is, kind of cruise there, and then bring it back over top of the curbing a little bit there before they roll back into the inner curbing, the right side of the track, into turn number 12. And then, of course, at that point, it's daunting if you're driving a car here, Phil, because when you come through turn number 12, you're not pointing down the racetrack. You're literally pointing straight at the wall on the outside, right? You're just going to miss the jut out from the drag part of the track. It's so tough because you just carried so much speed. You're aiming at the wall and hoping the car will turn once you get back out to the exit point.
And you were talking about the curbing. You were talking about these cars having a skid plate. Still got to be careful. Well, I got a skid plate on my side-by-side, and I'm still going to be careful with those curbs.
Well, again, the curbs at racetracks, I don't care where you are, everything's going to be a little bit different. Some curbing a lot more aggressive, right? The Road America's got some more aggressive curbing that you can use and that you can't use. A lot of times if you drop a wheel on the outside of the curbing, it may be a big drop-off there. So that fault drops you down as well. That removable skid plate we have, of course, tries to save the tub itself. It's kind of essentially a plywood board underneath the car that you can scrape off a little bit. But the bottom line is that you still have to approach every corner correctly. We've seen a lot of guys super aggressive coming through turn number 1. I don't know if that's the best idea. A number of them have to power themselves through that corner. Everybody heading back out, so there you go. Looks like we're going to get the takers of everybody. I just believe we're going to get one lap in. Remember, fast laps that we're laying down here right now is a 1:12. I don't know that they'll be able to get all the way back around, because once they do come flying through, Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to get around here. Someone may be lucky to get one more lap in, other than just the one flyer. But again, 112.646 for Garcia, 112.720 for Schrag. So less than a tenth separates first and second. Garcia, though, the point leader, trying to grab that point. Oh, this is going to be super close for somebody maybe coming in. No, they're not going to do it. 12. Not quite. They haven't got to the alternate timeline. So, yeah, everybody's going to get one more lap. Here comes Garcia. Benefit of being the point leader. You're the first pit spot on pit lane. Garcia's going to have open racetrack. Look at all so many drivers have done a good job capping themselves. That's that corner I talked about. They're really pointing at the outside wall when they come out at turn number 12. They're not down to the bottom of the racetrack. They're hanging it outside. You're not all the way down to the curb there. You're rolling it out. You're pointing towards kind of preserving as much exit speed as possible. You don't want to be tight out of that corner. Here's a good shot at coming through the 1-2 combination. Everybody getting one more lap. Can anybody go quicker? 1:12.6. One more USF Pro Championship session still to go. USF Pro 2000 qualifying coming up. An opportunity to have a look at the newest episode of The Climb. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, that'll play between these two qualifying sessions. So stay tuned for that. Out of 5-6, over to turn number 7 now. Checker flag will fly as they come down the back straightaway. Time has run out. Max Garcia. Can you pull off a one-lap flyer here to cap things off? 112.6 for Garcia. Does he go any quicker coming through here right now? I don't know that we'll see any drivers build enough heat into the tires to throw a lap down unless someone has some struggles from the further back in the field. Garcia with the fast lap. Still Max Taylor, second quickest lap. The fastest second lap. One driver in a bunch of trouble coming through the final corner there, not able to get a good lap through. Again, that caps things off. They'll all see the checker flag in the back straightaway. I don't see any movement whatsoever. And indeed, Max Garcia draws first blood. It was a 35-point lead coming in. Make it 36 now. So he'll start on the pole for race number 1 alongside Thomas Schrag. Max Taylor and Elliot Cox on row 2. Michael Costello and Nicholas Giaffoni on row 3. Joey Berenza alongside Hudson Schwartz on row 4. Sam Corey and Evagoras Papasavas, row number 5. Just over a second separating the entire 17-car field here in USF 2000. But for Garcia, number 1, a bonus point. Number 2, pole position. If he gets a good jump and gets down through turn number 1, 2, and 3 and gets out front early, it's going to be huge for him to potentially pull away. There he is right now. Max Garcia. Last couple of races have been interesting. He won the first 3 races of the year, third in the 4th race, scored a win as well at IMS, but he hasn't been right there throughout the last bunch of races. Mid-Ohio, second on the podium, race 1, 4th and 4th. Top 5s. He's banging out the top 5s. Top 5 in the last 5 races, and that's championship thinking. He may not have had the car to be able to win, but he brings it home every time. No DNFs, and that is crucial for him. And in fact, if you look at his line, you talk about a young driver who really settled in this year. The worst finish of the year for Max Garcia, 7th on the oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park. After that, I think a 6th at Road America. Almost everything he's done this year has been top 5s. Only 3 finishes outside the top 5 for Max Garcia. We'll see if he's able to cap it off this year, or this weekend rather, to come away with the USF 2000 championship. There you have it there, folks. We are still quite a ways away. 16 minutes before we get rolling here with qualifying for USF Pro 2000. That will cap off what has been a busy morning for the USF Pro Championships. We'll open the track up for the Indy Next, and of course the superstars of the NTT IndyCar Series to roll out here this afternoon as well. But again, one more session still to come. 15 minutes away, USF Pro 2000 will hit the track for qualifying.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.